When it comes to musical influences, there were two big Krises in my life. Kris Cornell, who I will do my damnedest to pay tribute to in a cover here at some point, and Kristofferson. Like all children of the 90s, Kristofferson first crossed my radar through his acting as the gruff, leather-clad quartermaster to Wesley Snipes in the Blade movies.
You gotta understand, they're everywhere. Vampires. The hominis nocturna. We hunt them, you see. Moving from one city to the next, tracking their migrations. They're hard to kill. They tend to regenerate.
So what do you use then? Stakes? Crosses?
Crosses don't do squat. Some of the legends are true, though. Vampires are severely allergic to silver. Feed them garlic and they're going to anaphylactic shock. And of course, there's always sunlight, ultraviolet rays. I got this sucker running. You want to give it a try tonight? Still heavy. But you're so big.
Been listening in the whole time?
Keeping radio contact.
Think I'd let him run loose without a chaperone? Christ, I'm too old for this! Somebody get me this goddamn wheelchair!
I also remember him menacing Mel Gibson as the Heavy in Payback.
He doesn't want to say anything. He just wants to get himself beat up, that's all.
Here it is. 130,000. That's as close as you're ever going to get to it. But I'll make you a deal. Tell me where John is and I'll finish you quick. I promise you won't have to find out what your left ball tastes like. But if there's even a bruise on him, I'll make this last 3 weeks. I'll give you a blood transfusion to keep you alive if I have to.
And Steven Seagal in Fire Down Below.
We've got you on extortion, conspiracy to commit murder, murder and racketeering. We're talking 30 years. That's ugly.
That's a long time to go without a woman.
You know, I knew you were going to say that. I have a dear friend named Tyrone that has promised me that when you hit prison, he's going to take you under his wing and teach you the most intimate social graces of prison, and you're going to be in good hands, so you won't have to worry about that.
Well, that takes care of the woman thing. But you're talking to a 60-year-old man. It still means I'd probably die in prison. I wish to God I had of.
Unless you live to be a very, very old man.
So I guess that makes killing you free.
Well, it would be free if you could.
That's fast.
His work in movies was extensive over the decades, and if you've never seen it before, I highly recommend the movie Heaven's Gate by a director named Michael Cimino. It's really something, and it's probably my favorite of his roles.
You're trespassing. We could have you shot here legally.
Legally, you bastards have a right to protect your own property. But unless you got a signed legal warrant for every name on that death list, stay out of my county.
You offset every effort we make to protect our property and that of members of your own class.
You're not my class, Ken. You never will be. You'd have to die first and be born again.
All right, Frank.
But Kristofferson was a Renaissance man. He was an essayist, he was a rugby player, he was an aspiring novelist, he was even a boxer in his youth, and he earned a Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford. And it was there that he first started writing and performing songs under the name Kris Carson. That initial foray into music proved to be an unsuccessful one, but Now that he had a degree in English literature under his belt, his father, who was an officer in the U.S. Army Air Corps, encouraged Kris to enlist. He became a second lieutenant, completed Ranger School, and learned to pilot a helicopter. In 1965, he was assigned to teach English literature at West Point, but instead opted to leave the military altogether, and it was that decision that saw him disowned by his family. Kristofferson relocated to Nashville, where he took a job sweeping floors at Columbia Recording Studios, and it was there that he met and befriended June Carter, and he gave her a tape of his songs to pass along to her husband, Johnny Cash. When that failed to get Johnny's attention, Kris borrowed a helicopter from the Army National Guard, and he landed it on Johnny's front yard as a reminder, thus beginning a long friendship between the two and his career in music. Story time. Well, Matt at one point had dreams of being a screenwriter before this whole rock and roll thing fell in his lap. And when I was about 18, I wrote a screenplay with Kristofferson in mind for one of the two lead roles. And one night, after an awesome performance of his at the Aladdin Theater here in Portland, Oregon, I anxiously awaited around back, and I gave a copy of that screenplay to him, telling him that I did not have a helicopter to land to get his attention, but it was the best that I could do. I remember he chuckled and said that wasn't quite the way that it had happened, but he politely took that script from my sweaty teenage palms and went on his way. I do have to say a big thanks to one of my best friends in the world, Jill. Thank you, Jill, for not letting me chicken out on that one. Kris passed away September 28th, 2024, at 88 years old. This is my favorite song of his.
Well, I woke up Sunday morning with no way to hold my head, didn't hurt. And the beer I'd had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert. Then I fumbled through my closet for my clothes and found my cleanest dirty shirt. And then I shaved my face and combed my hair and stumbled down the stairs to meet the day. Well, I'd smoked my brain the night before on cigarettes and songs I'd been picking. But I lit my first and watched a small kid cussing at a can he was kicking. Then I crossed the empty street and caught the Sunday smell of someone frying chicken. And it took me back to something that I lost somehow, somewhere along the way. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, wishing, Lord, that I was stoned. But there's something in a Sunday makes a body feel alone. And there's nothing short of dying. It's half as lonesome as the sound on a sleeping city sidewalk. Sunday morning coming down. In the park I saw a daddy with a laughing little girl. He was swinging. And I stopped beside a Sunday school and listened to the song and they were singing. And I headed back for home, and somewhere far away a lonely bell was ringing. And then it echoed through the canyons like a disappearing dream of yesterday. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, wishing low